Hailing from Chicago, Illinois, at a combined weight of 597 pounds, Road Warrior Hawk, Road Warrior Animal, the Legion of Doom, the Road Warriors. Welcome back, it's me, Lou, and I'm here for a special double feature. Alright, so today we're going to take a look at two action figures that I've been waiting for the longest time. From Major Bendy's in their Big Rubber Guys line, we are featuring the Road Warriors, Hawk and Animal. Okay, so if you grew up during the 1980s and you had the LJN WWF Superstar Wrestlers, this action figure line is for you. As a child, I always dreamed that they would have made figures of Hawk and Animal, but that never came to be. And in the year 2024, some 40 years later, I finally got my wish. You know, we have the Road Warriors, and they are fantastic. I'm so stoked to have these. So let's begin. So these are made by Major Bendy's in their Big Rubber Guys line. The Big Rubber Guys it's kind of like their take on the LJN style of action figure from the 1980s. Wonderful package design. Gorgeous artwork by their in-house artist, TTD. On the back of the box is their awesome checklist of action figures available so far. And these are all great. It's really killing me that I didn't know they were making the Road Warriors. If I knew that beforehand, I would have jumped online so much sooner, because looking back, I would have bought Demolition and the Powers of Pain if I knew they were making the Road Warriors. You know, I was a big fan of all these wrestlers, but it was the Road Warriors that really pulled me in, and I'm so kicking myself because all these guys, it's like this is like my generation of wrestling that I grew up on. You know, we have Demolition, Slaughter, Marty Jannetty, Ric Flair, Magnum, Dusty, the Bulldogs. These are all the guys I grew up on, and it's awesome. The cool thing about the package design also is that you can easily remove the cardboard insert, and then you can take out the figure, you know, without damaging it. And let's see if I can do that carefully. I could be kind of clumsy sometimes, so let's get this out. Alright, there's Hawk. Let's take out Animal. Alright, so, man, I waited my whole life to be able to have action figures like these. As a kid, I grew up on the LJN WWF Wrestling Superstar action figures, and like I said, I so wish that they made the Road Warriors when I was a kid. At the time, the only Road Warrior wrestling figures I had were the Remco AWA wrestling action figures, and I played the crap out of those, as I did with my LJNs. But this really is something else. This for me is like the Road Warriors kind of in their prime. I remember when they debuted their shoulder pads. Prior to this, they had different wrestling gear. They were still spiked uniforms. Hawk kind of had this vest, and then Animal had, it was, I can't even describe it. It was crazy. He had two different versions. He had this other one where it was kind of like a very thin vest, but then he had this wild one with like a giant metal plate behind his head and this red cape. It was insane. But these figures, it's like I said, these are like prime Road Warriors during their time in the NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance. I also associate this when they were like traveling to Japan, and they won the international tag team titles. Gorgeous looking action figures. The shoulder pads are removable, which is insane, and they're very sharp too, so you could actually poke your eye out. And they like conform to the bodies perfectly. They really hold onto the figure. And just look at that. These are gorgeous. Very sharp. Very, very sharp. Nice, dense, rubbery material. And then let's take off Animals. Animals is different because it's asymmetrical in its design. Again, awesome action figure. So me being the Road Warrior nerd that I am, I always remember that the Road Warriors were sometimes called in at 597 pounds and occasionally maybe at 603 pounds. Sometimes Animal would weigh in at about 300 pounds. And I remember Hawk coming in at anywhere between 285 to 287. Great looking action figures. Animals, he wasn't as cut like this as Hawk was. You know, he was a little bit more barrel-chested, a little bit had more of a gut, but they were still two of the biggest wrestlers you would ever see. This is great. Hawk has the reverse mohawk and his tongue out. I think more people, especially younger fans, are more so familiar with Hawk in the red and black war paint. But for me, this is the war paint I grew up on. You know, this really screams Road Warrior Hawk. They have warriors on the leg and LOD. I don't know how accurate this is because I don't remember if they had LOD on their tights. I do remember warriors on one side, and I remember there was a good chunk of their early career where they were just black. And they were part of the Legion of Doom. At that time, you know, it was Paul Ellering, I want to say Bundy, Jake the Snake, and Buzz Sawyer. I think were part of the original Legion of Doom. But yeah, these figures are awesome. They feel a little bit stiffer than the LJN figures, but they're still really, really nice. These are awesome. Just look at that. These are great figures, and they stand in at about, Hawk is about 8 inches, and Animal, he's about a little under, which is accurate, because like I said, I think in real life, I think Hawk came in at 6 feet 3 inches, and Animal, I think, was 6 feet 1 inch. And then if you happen to have the LJN wrestlers, here's a size comparison. You know, they fit in beautifully with the LJN figures. You know, there's a slight difference in the aesthetic, but I don't think you'll mind. And they're just great. For me, I love the idea of matching up Hawk with Hogan. It's kind of like recreating their showdown in Japan when Hulk Hogan teamed up with the Great Muta, and he took on the Hellraisers, consisting of Hawk and Power Warrior, aka Kensuke Sasaki. That's like one of my favorite tag team matches ever of all time. So yeah, I'm such a mark for the Road Warriors. I love the Road Warriors. So yeah, very stoked to have these. And if you're curious about, they are making the Legion of Doom in the black and red uniforms with the red shoulder pads. And that's a Big Bad Toy Store exclusive. So, you know, head on there if you want those. But yeah, these are great. And I've waited a lifetime for these. So stoked on this. It's amazing. I'm very impressed with these action figures. It's like the best thing to happen to me in a very long time. So yeah, you know, props to the crew at Major Bendy's. These are amazing, amazing action figures and collectibles. If you haven't jumped on board yet, and if you're gonna regret it like me, but like I said, I needed the Road Warriors. These were my favorite wrestlers as a kid growing up. So yeah, let's wrap this one up. Once again, my name is Lou. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning viewer, subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. I greatly appreciate it. So until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, buy lots of toys, and most importantly, be happy. And I'll see you at the next one. All right, later.